Hi, Chuck Barnard, and I am the Champions Mindset mentor and the founder of Success Institutes. Just want to share with you a little bit about my company and the program that we offer for school systems. We are all well aware of the great crisis facing teenagers, a mental health crisis, or epidemic, as many people are calling it. I mean, the CDC reported that between 2009 and 2021, the percentage of students who had persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness increased from 26% to 44%. There's many statistics like that that are showing the real challenge facing our teenagers. We also know that a growth mindset is a great antidote for some of these mental health challenges. Those with a fixed mindset are far more likely to experience mental health issues such as anxiety and depression than those with a growth mindset. In fact, those with a growth mindset are about 58% less likely to experience serious anxiety and depression. So the question becomes, how do we go about developing this growth mindset in our students? Well, there's a couple ways. And one of them is we get them involved in curriculum. There's some good curriculums out there. I have a very good curriculum that's what my coaching is with parents and their children. Well, in schools, we know what those challenges are with trying to implement a curriculum, trying to bring teachers on board, trying to fit it into the schedule, doing all those logistical things to really make it effective can be very challenging. There is another way. You see, for 30 years, I've worked in public schools, working with students who are always on the fringes. I started a day treatment program at a school, for middle school. I worked in an alternative education program. I've been working my entire career with students whose mindset got in the way of their success. And our job, while teaching in an academic setting, was to find ways to shift that mindset. Well, I've taken all my education, all my training, all my years of experience to create a couple simple workshops. One workshop's geared towards student, and the other one is for the other two major stakeholders, parents and teachers. For the students, well, it's been shown that if you just teach them about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, and a stress is enhancing mindset, you will improve their academic performance. They'll be more likely to take more challenging courses. You have already put them on that road towards that development of that growth mindset. And as we already stated, that growth mindset is a significant factor in helping to decrease that mental health challenges that are facing them. But we don't just stop at that. We also teach them about the 5 stages that you need to go through as you train your mindset. And we give them some tools to use to do just that. And lastly, we set up a challenge. Primarily, it's a challenge that is really controlled in the home, but really enlisting parents. But the schools can have a very important role in helping students take on this challenge. And it is a challenge. It's supposed to be a challenge. It's meant to be a challenge. But the biggest part of the challenge is the creation of new and better habits. And it's habits that will really be the key and training and getting developed these mindsets. On the other side, we have the parents and teachers. And the great challenge teachers have is when you want to make change, you really only have a very short moment to do that. You see, modern research has shown that your working memory really only holds 10 words for about 10 seconds at a time before your brain begins processing and begins to wander. So the vast, overwhelming majority of our communication is missed because your brain's beginning to wander as it's processing the information you just learned. Well, we can take advantage of that when we learn to structure our language. And we notice negative patterns of thinking. From the way we question students to the suggestions we then give afterwards. When we structure our language appropriately in those 10-second, 15-second coaching, teaching, parenting moments, we can interrupt negative patterns of thinking and embed some positive suggestions. And when you interrupt negative patterns of thinking often enough, soon the student can't bring back that negative pattern of thinking. It's been kind of erased. And when you couple that with embedding some positive suggestions associated with a growth mindset, you will begin to see the shifts. I'll share very briefly case study. I have another video that I will invite you to watch. One of my students, former students who had high anxiety, missed a lot of school. In her own words, she was a wreck. And we only had her for 1 year. We usually have, or very often had students for 2 years. But my teaching partner and I would regularly, obviously, we were building rapport, building support, but we're interrupting those negative patterns of thinking. Even when we notice that it's going on is that internal dialogue, we can still interrupt it. We can ask the right questions, pose better suggestions, and over time, that is interrupted and can't be recalled. Well, this student ended up going to Bates College, 17%, I think, acceptance rate. When we had her, that was not going to be a possibility. So the power, again, in these short moments can't be overstated. And the more teachers who actually begin to utilize it and practice it, and the more parents do, the quicker the results, the more long-lasting, the more profound results. Now, I'm sure you're curious, and it's good to be curious about what this would entail, what the logistics are, all those things. Well, I invite you to reach out and schedule a phone call with me, a discovery call where we can talk about all the logistics, some of the details. And because you take the time out of your day and all the other things that you do, I would love to thank you with a Starbucks gift card. So we'll schedule a virtual coffee. We can have a conversation about bringing this program into your school, what would that entail, how it would work, and all those things. I'll love to answer any of the questions that I'm sure you must have. So reach out to me at CoachChuck360.com. That's CoachChuck360.com. When you're there, you can just close out of the video that will pop up. There's a contact section, and all my contacts information is there. You can check out some of the social media links that I have, the videos I have, my websites, all that information is all in one place so you can begin to take a look, see what we have. Again, love to talk to you, answer your questions, and see about bringing this into your school.